Before we begin, subscribe to the REC Invest Global channel, turn on the bell, and leave a like. Here, you get direct and impartial analysis about the global financial market. No promises, no manipulation, just facts, context, and reflection. Now, imagine a cryptocurrency company that not only creates technology, but also influences the rules of the game. A company that leaves the backstage of innovation to sit at the table of political power. We are talking about Ripple, the creator of XRP, which has been building a strategic presence in Washington and could change the course of financial regulation in the United States. The question that remains is simple. What is really behind this movement? Legitimate ambition or a carefully calculated power play? It all began to take shape on October 20th, 2025, when the Times tabloid revealed that Ripple attended a gala event at the White House, reserved for donors and business leaders. The company's presence in such an exclusive environment did not go unnoticed. Behind the flashes and speeches, there was a silent yet powerful message. Ripple wants an active voice in the political decisions shaping the future of digital assets. In 2024, the company hired the renowned lobbyist Brian Ballard, known for his deep connections with the Republican Party and high levels of the American government. Ballard is not just any name. He represents influence, access, and strategy. His mission? To work directly on digital asset regulation, seeking a more favorable scenario for the crypto industry. And that's when things started to take on a larger dimension. In March 2025, former President Donald Trump made a surprising statement. He announced the inclusion of XRP in a supposed crypto strategic reserve. The idea seemed too bold to be real, and indeed it was. But the episode revealed something much more interesting. Unknowingly, Trump exposed Ripple's political reach to the public, revealing just how present the company already was in the corridors of power. The company's presence in the White House is not symbolic. It is the result of a long-term plan. Through strategic events, political donations, and a well-built network of contacts, Ripple has been positioning itself as an essential actor in the dialogue about crypto sector regulation. And why does this matter? Because the next laws being debated in the U.S. Congress, such as the Genius Act and the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, will define who really calls the shots in the cryptocurrency arena, whether it will be the SEC, the CFTC, or a new hybrid model of supervision. Now, think. If a company like Ripple can influence these decisions, what does that mean for the future of the global crypto market? Are we witnessing the birth of a new form of economic power, where blockchain companies shape the laws that regulate them? This is where the game becomes even more complex. Ripple's movement is not just political, it is strategic and above all preventive. The company understood that the biggest risk for the sector is not market volatility, but regulatory uncertainty. By gaining space in Washington, it is trying to ensure stability even before the new rules come into effect. But some see this as a danger. Experts warn that the political involvement of cryptocurrency companies could create a new type of centralization, not of computational power, but of influence. And this raises a question. Is the crypto sector, created with the ideal of decentralization, becoming a victim of its own success? Ripple's strategy reflects a trend that is spreading around the world. Major technology and finance companies are getting closer and closer to governments, participating in discussions about regulation and digital security. It is the dawn of a new era where technology and politics walk side by side, sometimes in harmony, other times in direct conflict. For the attentive investor, this movement is a sign that the game is changing. The future of cryptocurrencies will not be defined solely by the market, but also by the offices of power. And whoever understands this first will understand where the real opportunities lie. But of course, there is still a lot at stake. The SEC continues to push for strict regulation, while the CFTC advocates for a more flexible approach. In the middle of this dispute, Ripple seeks to balance interests, trying to be seen as not a threat, but as a partner to the financial system. And you? Have you ever stopped to think about the impact political decisions can have on your investments? How will the market react if the US Congress passes laws that change the classification of crypto assets? And if XRP becomes the first token widely recognized by the US government, what message will that send to the rest of the world? These questions are fundamental because they show the true scenario of the current market. A chessboard where every move is calculated. Every political decision affects billions, and every silence can be more revealing than 1,000 public announcements. Ripple may not be trying to dominate the market. It may be trying to survive it. And to do that, it is playing the game that few master, the game of political influence. This strategy could redefine not only the future of XRP, but also the way governments view cryptocurrencies. If it works, the company will set a historic precedent, a model that other companies will certainly try to follow. But if it fails, it will serve as an example of the limits between innovation and power, showing how far a company can go before it becomes seen as a threat to the traditional financial system. In any case, one thing is certain. Ripple is not backing down. On the contrary, it is expanding its connections, strengthening its presence, and quietly influencing the direction of one of the most dynamic industries on the planet. And while all this is happening, it is up to us, investors and observers, to understand what is really behind these movements. Because in the financial market, what seems like just news can actually be the harbinger of a much larger transformation. If you want to continue understanding what's behind the headlines and discover how these changes can affect the future of digital assets, subscribe now to the RC Invest Global channel. Turn on the bell and leave a like. Here you get direct and impartial analysis about the global financial market. No promises, no manipulation, just facts, context, and reflection.